Hey guys, welcome to the Deansy Boys Show podcast. I am your host Reece Deans, and welcome back for another episode of the Deansy Boys Show. And I hope you haven't waited for too long. I know it's been 2 long weeks since I last posted my video of me asking a question to Bret Hart about the if the WWE is too kid friendly, etc., etc. But I'm back, and to tell you what's been going on recently, I had to change. Rooms, my room's getting decorated, so it's been very busy. I've been doing all the painting and decorating and all that sort of thing. Actually, no, not really. I haven't. My uncle's been doing it, and I just had to move in to a new room with all my stuff just around me and all that sort of thing. Yeah, with work-wise and everything like that, I had other commitments. I had loads of plans and sorting out, so the podcast had to be pushed to one side for a brief week or two because of it. But sorry to keep you guys waiting. These podcasts do take time. I have to come up with some stuff to talk about or anything like that. But in all fairness, and to be honest with you, it's not going to be an episode where I've got something to discuss about of any topics, because I briefly went through with you guys some of the topics that I've gone through to with WWE, with Roman Reigns and all that stuff. But yeah, just to say as well that we got this wrestling live event at the Barry Memorial Hall, the Welsh Wrestling coming over. So normally we get some good former WWE talents coming into the wrestling and doing some matches. I've been to watch one of them before, and the main event was like Stevie Star and Kate Kulos for the Welsh Wrestling Heavyweight title, which is not a bad match. But yeah, I remember seeing one wrestler, and he's particularly well known in the British circuit. His name's Jason Mason, and yeah, he's been on WWE, he's been on TNA, he's had brief appearances though. But I've looked him up, and he's quite an interesting character, an interesting person who's been there and done that, who's been to some territories. I wouldn't mind doing an interview with him. I wouldn't mind at all. I mean, I know the Welsh Wrestling is just around the corner, so I might just ask him. Hopefully he does it, but who knows? We'll wait and see. But yeah, going back to when I said I went to one before. I mean, I think they were doing like little tributes or little like Easter egg moments where you could see that they were doing something to commemorate of World of Sport, when you had Big Daddy, Giant Haystacks, Adrian Street, all those famous British wrestlers. Because one of them actually came out and he just looked exactly, well, his appearance, like the way he was dressed and everything, he looked like Big Daddy. But and he kept saying easy, easy. And I'm there like, dude, make your own character up. And I think he was called something Bulldog or Big Bulldog, whatever his name is, like trying to do another rip off of the British Bulldog. But yeah, that didn't go down well, all too well, and that's not too nicely. So yeah, with the Welsh Wrestling just around the corner, which is the same day as Attack Pro Wrestling, and I just had to turn down a ticket for that because I made a promise to my little sister that I would take her to the Welsh Wrestling, which is more suitable for her. Now I know I've spoken fondly about the wrestling being too kid friendly and all that sort of thing, but I know they have to consist of children, so because it's a family show, it's going to be mainly around kids. I don't know why, because there's two full grown men or just adult women just beating the hell out of each other. I don't know how that's relevant for a kids show or anything like that, but oh well, life's a bitch, and and you're gonna have to deal with it. But yeah, I'm gonna have to take my little sister to the show. I have been wondering or thinking of ways to get this show going, because I've been so busy recently. I just don't know how to get this show going on the road. I mean, I tried to get Bret the Hitman Out to do a little introduction, but because of timing and because of loads of people who were at the venue when I was watching and listening, Bret the Hitman Out stories and that, it just wouldn't fit well with the time. I mean, because it's just so much people and so much hassle. I mean, it was ridiculous. I mean, there was one person um, who came in and he had like 50, 50 things with him, like magazines, pictures and that, and he was handing them to Bret Hart to sign them, and there was a limit of amount of autographs you had to have. I mean, I only had two, which is enough for me because I paid for to have autographs for him. I mean, but this guy, just came in and he had like stacks and stacks of merchandise with him. I'm thinking to myself, mate, why are you doing that? We all know you're gonna flog him on eBay and you're gonna get shit money out of him. So what's the point? I mean, this guy was a proper nerd, short, fat, round, probably glasses, no girlfriend at all, probably still a virgin. Yeah, still a virgin, going around there, and I literally got pissed off. I was there like, dude, Brett, go and put him in the sharpshooter or something like that. But yeah, I met Lewis J. Nichols as well. Hope I pronounce it right because I keep saying Nichols, like not Nichols or something like that. But his friends along with him and everything like that. And from Como has his own radio show, and we discussing about like trying to appear on the show, trying to push even further and all that stuff. But it was nice to meet them guys as well. Met my schoolmate Ryan Jones there, and he's training to be a wrestler as well. And hopefully that goes well because one day I might ask him if I could be his manager. And that'll be good. I wouldn't mind being manager. I mean, loads of people have always asked me, Reese, if you were to go into the wrestling industry, well, what would you do? And I'd be like, well, never too late for me to start going into the ring and doing some jumping off stuff and slamming people. But I wouldn't mind being a manager because I think it's more fun. I get to help other talents, get them to become big names. If they're not going to mind, you always give them to the managers, don't you? I mean, perfect example of Bobby the Brain Heenan, Paul Heyman, Slick, Jimmy Hart, all those managers, all those great managers that help the wrestlers and whoever they have to be partnered with, and he addresses them like saying, "Oh, this guy's the biggest, baddest man." I mean, like if you have a look at Paul Heyman, he mainly when Paul Heyman and Brock Lesnar make an appearance in the WWE, Paul Heyman's always there, right on the spot, saying, "My name's Paul Heyman and this is Brock Lesnar. He's a beast." And Brock Lesnar does his talking in the ring by just slamming people, and I mean that's his way of addressing the crowd. But Paul Heyman words, just that's him. He's very clever. He's a genius, and he's the guy who can make a guy great by just addressing it, saying this guy's a monster. I mean, I wouldn't mind doing that, being a manager and all that. I mean, commentating as well. I mean, that would be good. I mean, I've always wanted to do commentating, and I can probably do a better job than Michael Cole. Heck, I mean, a chimpanzee could do a better job than Michael Cole, I think. Just not reading the script and you'd be like, banana, banana, banana. Well, am I saying banana? But anyway, but yeah, that'll be a good day one day. But well, I'm enjoying the podcast, and that's just about it. I was thinking of getting all the stuffs that I've been to, like all the live events, like the Exposure Wrestling Entertainment promotions, what I've caught on camera and all that, and the live questions with Bret Hart and Kurt Angle. Might put them all together, make a nice little show, like a little footage for you guys just to look up and everything, and see if you guys like it. I really enjoy going from places to places or location to location just to meet these wrestlers or managers or commentators. It's always very interesting to see different fields of wrestling, and my biggest I wouldn't say dream, but my biggest pursuit or biggest ambition is to go to Mexico on one day and see the Lucha Libre matches. I've always been interested in Lucha Libre. I don't know why. I think it's because they stick to traditional wrestling, the Mask, Cape Crusaders, and all that sort of thing. And it's always been a big interest of mine. And I wouldn't mind going to Mexico one day for a nice holiday, and just go there and watch a show, and that would be very interesting. Hopefully, I won't get shot. um, but seriously though, I literally haven't got anything to say at this time. I'm normally speaking a lot louder than I am, but I'm being calm now and being collected, and trying to address you guys as much as I can by slowing down, because I'm off script. I mean, I'm not like WWE where they're like predetermined, pre-shown. I mean, I normally write stuff down to talk about, and I go write it right here, right in front of me, and I just say, yeah, blah 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 blah, and then I go into what else I want to say. Sometimes go off script, sometimes I go off like promo shoots or anything like that, So yeah, really it's really hard to do this podcast. I must be honest with you, because when I start talking, sometimes I can jumble up my words. I go blah, and then sometimes I will speak Yoda. Just mix up my words, and then some of you guys might think, oh, well, what's he talking about there? But I've only done like 9 actual episodes of the podcast, and I did a few episodes on the football podcasting. Now, to let you guys know, I haven't found a third guest on the show yet, but if I do, it will come on as soon as possible, straight after it, no problem at all. But everyone's busy. I mean, the summer's coming up, everyone wants to have a good time, chill out and everything like that, but you gotta respect everyone's personal life and their interest and what they want to do, and yeah, that's about it. But going back to when I said Jason Mason, and I know I explained a little bit why I want to have Jason Mason on the show, is because when I was looking up, I mean, like I said about WWE and TNA, for some of you guys who do not know Jason Mason, he's a British wrestler. He's actually made a name for himself in the UK, and he's been on WWE only for once, and it was a televised show in Manchester. Now, if you go on YouTube, look it up, it's MVP, Montel Vontainius Porter versus Jason Mason, and it was going through a time where MVP was losing to jobbers, and he was losing his motive, his cool, his game, and I think it was going around about the time where he was going to turn face and the crowd was going to love him and he's going to start winning again. But I was watching it, and it was about like a 5-minute video, and the only reason why Jason Mason won was through the writing script wise. Greg Kelly would come out and Jason Mason would do the roll up, and then he'll win 1, 2, 3. But that was it. But going back even further, TNA once had this, I think it was this extreme global tournament where they had 4 wrestlers on each team, one from Canada, one from Mexico, one from the UK, all sorts of countries, and Jason Mason was part of the UK team, with 3 other wrestlers I can't really remember, but to make the Americans and the Mexicans all big and great, the British actually came dead last. I think they secured 3 points, and that was just 1 win, and that was Jason Mason, and that was it for the UK team. But I seen him in the Welsh Wrestling show in the memo before, and I can't really remember his first match. I think it was against a guy named Grizzly, who was a big guy, and he had a big bushy beard, and I think he lost. But then there was a main event. There was Jason Mason and Stevie Starr, a former NXT wrestler, versus Kate Kulos and Grizzly, and I think Stevie Starr and Jason Mason won. Yeah, it was a good night, I have to be fair, but then again, it kind of spoiled it when some of the wrestlers kept, like the good guy wrestlers, they kept clapping, trying to get the fans, kids, to get them going and all that. And what I really didn't like is that there was no like barriers to stop the kids from running around and that. I mean, I know kids can run around and everything, but I mean, say like one kid just went so close to the arena and a wrestler got thrown out of the ring and it landed on top of the kid. You know it's not going to go well for the wrestler, and especially a lot of court cases for that. But I mean, if it did happen, it was that particular wrestler's fault. It would be the kids or the parents' fault, because you gotta look after the kids and for their safety, do not let them go anywhere near the ring. I mean, especially when the kid. I mean, if you went back into the world of sports, you have that few numbers of fans approaching, like the likes of Big Daddy, Fit Finlay, Adrian Street. They approach him, they'd be like, oh, hugging him and everything like that. But they had to get to the ring. I mean, it was so slow, the entrances, because the kids kept going near the wrestlers. But like I said, this is not going to be a big debate about kids again, because I've already explained and discussed about that in one of my previous podcasts. But I mean, that's what it was like in the show. But I'm going again on the 3rd of June with two of my friends and my little sister, and hopefully it'll be good. It'll be a good day, and it's going to be my little sister's first wrestling show since ever. I mean, she's only 7 years old, and it's going to be a great experience for her, and I hope she will enjoy it, because I'm gonna have to pay for it. Christ, God help me. Oh, I wanted to go to Attack Pro Wrestling as well. I mean, that could have been a bundle of joys and everything. I mean, I went to the if any of you guys hear that, I just opened up a Sprite bottle. Give me 1 minute. Yep. Yeah, I went to watch Attack Pro Wrestling. The walkabout, and that was phenomenal. I mean, the ladder match, tag team ladder match. I remember Manju's just doing a somersault, a moonsault off a balcony, and nearly breaking his legs because it made contact to the ring. And oh, Jesus Christ! I mean, the main event as well: Eddie Dennis versus Pete Dunne versus Wild Boar. There were chairs, there were thumbtacks, there was in the crowd violence, there was tables. I mean, there was all sorts of things. I mean, Pete Dunne got the win, but because the title's 24/7, the referee Shay, he won. He just covered him up. 1, 2, 3. Oh my God, Shay just won. The place just went bonkers. I mean, if the WWE done that, some of the die hard wrestling fans would be like, why? But it was a great night. It had to be. It had to be one of those days where they had to do it. I mean, it was fantastic. But I'll be going to the walkabout again in the future. Exposure Wrestling Entertainment's coming back, so me and the Port Talbot lads, we're going to be there again. Welsh Wrestling, that's going to be fun. Well, I'm going to be trying to go to some of these live wrestling tours and these speeches and that. I mean, I know that Kevin Nash is going to some in England, so I might try and travel up to either Leeds, Newcastle, or something like that to listen to him and hear what he had to say. I might ask him about his quads, because he's good friends. He's very close with his quads. So close. But then again, his quads can be a bitch sometimes to him. You can make a drama out of that. You can make a drama about Kevin Nash and his quads, can you? That'd be good. Put it on the WWE Network, only $9.99. The Tale of Nash and Quads. That'd be good. That'd be good. I would literally watch that and see what happens. Get the guys from South Park or Family Guy to do it for one night only. The Tale of Nash and its Quads. It's supposed to be a joke, but oh well. I'm funny. Leave me alone. But yeah, I think that's really all I got to say about that. I'm trying to keep up to date with you guys to see to tell you what's going on, and that in 20 minutes is not really that bad. It could have been worse. Could have been 15 minutes. Could have been 10. Could have been 5. Could have been a second. And well, it could have been worse. Yeah, I literally got nothing to say about that. But uh, this is gonna be episode 9. Oh yeah, guys. Now I just remembered the episode 10. I know I mentioned about the Q&A. Um, there's not enough questions for me to explore. I mean, there have been one or two questions, so I might use them. But it's going to be like what episode 1, what I told you about me being a wrestling fan. So it's going to be another episode called Me, the Wrestling Fan, Part 2 or something like that. But I will tell you more and more about why I'm such a wrestling fan and why did I started liking it and all that sort of things. And I'll answer some questions like your total dream match, or if you had to bring back someone from the dead, anything like that. Well, I've actually had one question saying if you bring back one dead wrestler, who would it be? Well, I'll tell you that in episode 10. So I hope you guys will enjoy that, and hope you guys will still follow me and just keep up to date with what I'm doing. I won't let you guys down. It is going to be hard for me to keep doing this all the time, but the Deansy Boys show is still going to stick around, so don't worry. But that's all we got time for today, and guys, I hope you really enjoyed this. My name's Reece Deans. I am your host of the Deansy Boys show. Good night.